Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. It's the 42 episode, and I've got Tom O'Connor sitting down with me, and we're going to preview round 6 in the Northeast Conference, Tom. And we've got, 7 or 8 games this weekend, and it's really going to shape, one team season, especially in the men.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some double headers, there's rivalry games, there's big matchups for head to heads. This is an exciting weekend. This is what we play basketball for. This is the reason why we do all the preseason, we do all of this extra training during the weeks just for these kinds of weekends to see where you're at. Absolutely.
You mentioned rivalry. Let's start off Saturday night in the men. Benalla hosting Wangaratta in Wangaratta. How good is that for Wangaratta and this rivalry matchup?
Gee, that just throws, for those that are watching, it's a bit of a mind-boggling one, isn't it? That's going to be huge for Wangaratta. Be great to see the spectacle that they can put on there as well, especially. It's a little bit interesting. It's only 20 minutes away from each other, but I'm looking forward to it. I think there's a bit of fire in the belly for the Wangaratta group. They were close last time, put up a good score, and now they've seen Benalla get knocked off. They're probably going to be hunting and saying, we want to do that as well. Let's not just leave it to one team.
And now I talked about season defining games this weekend for one team, and that's the Shepparton Gators. Saturday night, they're hosting Albury in what is 4th versus 5th. This is going to be a cracker game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how Dylan Wayman, coach of the Gators, can rally the troops. Expect Tom Frame to play 40 minutes unless he's in foul trouble, and really have to be the leader on the floor for them. Nick Dodd will do what he does, but I think the ball is going to sit in Tom Frame's hand a lot, and he's going to be that leader. He's going to want to take this challenge on and really put a standpoint on that Shepparton's back in the league and that they want to play finals.
And then another rivalry when you guys see more travel down to Wallen. You need to get the win, but you also need to get that head-to-head margin back because potentially that's going to define a position on the ladder for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing better than playing against rivalries, but that head-to-head, it does sit there. But at the end of the day, probably for ourselves is we've just got to go play basketball, go continue the form that we've just finished against Benalla with, and transfer that into our next game and keep consistently sticking as that group. That whole mentality of it is us. You put yourself in a position for your season. Who's ready to accept the challenge is sort of how I look at it. And for Wallen, it's not resting. Yeah, you might be a couple of games clear, but we spoke about earlier, Matt, there is 6 teams vying for a final spot right now, and you drop one in this time of the year, it's late in the season and might be a very crucial one that you do drop. So expect it to be a bit of a finals-like mentality in this game too.
And then Sunday, Shepparton are backing it up again on their home court against Myrtleford, who sit second on the ladder. Now, for some reason, Myrtleford fixture, it's just played into their hands. They play everyone when all the tougher teams when they've had one game in for the weekend. So, they've got the hand up here. They've got the fresher legs. They do have to travel. Shepparton coming off the tough game on Saturday night. Can they get the job done on Sunday as well?
Yeah, this is where that you talk about that younger versus older. This is where I expect probably some of the experienced bodies to try and bang a little bit, try and take a little bit of the speed out of the game. I'm really looking forward to the matchup of Tyler Barker and Tom Frame, and then probably Marcus Laspina, Levi Young against a Nick Dodd and those likes. It's going to be interesting to see how Shepparton can back it up on the weekend and see what the depth is going to be like for both groups. see how far they can go into their benches, or if they're going to stick with just their starting five and try and get it done.
Yeah, Shepparton dropped these 2 games over the weekend, and it's going to make their job a lot tougher to get into that top 4. If they win both, they go to a 5-2 record. They're pretty much writing their name into the top 4. It'll be in pencil, it won't be in pen, but it's going to be close enough. And then Wangaratta host Mansfield on Sunday as well. And look, Wangaratta potentially could get their first win for the season this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be probably for Mansfield. You spoke about with Myrtleford. They've got their rest. Wangaratta's going to have a tough game on the Saturday night with Benalla, it'd be great to see Wangaratta get a win on their home deck, especially now that they're hosting 2 games, not just one. They're hosting 2 at home this weekend. Try and put a standpoint to Mansfield that, hey, last time you got us was a bit of luck, and we're really here to send a message that we're going to take away what you did last time, and we're going to make a standpoint.
And just 2 games in the women. With Saturday night, we've got Shepparton hosting Albury with the Cracker men's game to follow. And, can Shepparton potentially upset Albury and give Albury their first loss of the season? Albury are travelling, so we just don't know who's going to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right, Matt. Even we saw the cross-border game last weekend. Jade McCowan didn't play. But it'll be probably for the young Shepparton group is take the challenge on. Try and junk it up a little bit and give Albury the scare and try and give them their first loss.
And Wallen hosting Seymour, a rivalry game in Wallen. It does, that does favour them a little bit, having that home court advantage. But, are they a bit young to go up against the Seymour Blasters? That's probably the question everyone asks.
Yeah, it's a return to that court as well for some of the Seymour girls, Carly Cranston, Nicola Stewart. So it'll be a familiar place for them. But I'd like to see Mel Buckley and probably Olivia Woods try and be the leaders of that group that they are at Wallen, and take the challenge to Seymour. Don't just rest on what the last game was, but expect a crowd to follow this game and to be loud and be noisy. And 2 great games at Wallen on Saturday night, both in the women's and the men's. That's for sure.
That's it. That's the preview for round 6 this weekend in the Northeast Conference. And you know what? You might have seen earlier today, Tom, the grand final location. It's only 4 or 5 weeks away. And this year in the Northeast, we're heading to Shepparton. Now, we've seen them pack the stands in Shepparton for a big V grand final. What's it going to be like, atmosphere and in the venue wise, of a grand final being held in Shepparton for the Northeast Conference final?
Yeah, look, it's probably a while since it's been at Shepparton too. We've seen the likes of Wodonga hosted. It's great for the community in Shepparton to see hoops come there. As you spoke about, Matt, they pack out 800 people to a big V final, and you're going to see exactly the same hoops playing. The crowds are going to travel. It's a good location for them to get to. They're going to travel. They're going to be noisy, and can't wait to see the spectacle that Shepparton does put on come grand final night. Absolutely.
Congratulations to Shepparton on being the successful host of this year's Northeast Grand Finals. And, spectators, let's make sure we're attending the venues this weekend. We've got some spectacular basketball to be played in the Northeast in round 6. So good luck to all teams this weekend, and we'll catch you all next week when we jump on to review what is round 6 in the Northeast Conference, Tom.